Can you guys see me? Hello? Can I see myself that way? Oh, holy that was really close. Just got done at the gym. I know I have to shoot this video, but I need to go shower because I stink. And I need to go eat some dinner, but then we'll shoot this video. I'll see you all in a bit. All right, guys. Refreshed, good to go, ready to shoot the video. I have been fed, I have been showered, I have worked out, finished all my classes today for college, maintained that 4.0, so let's go ahead, let's get into this video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's John, if you don't know me. All right, guys, so in this video, we are going to be going over my top MacBook apps. Now, these could apply to MacBook Pro, Air, iMac, whatever. They all run the same system, so everything that I go through in this video will work on here. We're gonna be breaking this down into 4 different sections. So there's gonna be create, consume, research, and utility. Some of these could be put into different categories depending on what they're used for in a certain circumstance, but those are the 4 categories I'm going with. I think they're the most important categories, most well-used categories, that is. So let's go ahead, let's hop right into this. First off, we're gonna start off with the create section of things. So the first app I use, which being a YouTuber, not big yet, but in order to be on YouTube, you have to upload a thumbnail. If you're uploading thumbnails based off of a still that's in your video, I suppose maybe there's some times where that works, but that's not how I'm gonna do things. That's not how I have done things. So this isn't actually an app what I use to create my thumbnails. It's a website, but I think it's important to include in this video, and it's Canva. Now, Canva's a great app. It's a free app on your phone. It could be an app. It's a website on the computer. At least that's how I use it. I don't know if there's an app based off of what I've seen, but inside of Canva, there's actually a really great option in here. So you can search YouTube thumbnail and it will already pull up the dimensions for that. And you can start with a clean slate, or if you need some help based off of these other templates that are offered. A lot of them are free, some of them are paid. I did do the free trial for a little bit and it was really great. That's actually how I built the intro for this channel. The outro was built by me. It was just a clip that I had that I really liked the colors on, blurred it in Final Cut, and then added images on top of it. And that one worked out really well. Didn't need a Canva for that. But the intro, I think, worked really well. I don't have the best footage on file for creating a intro video just yet. It's something that I definitely want to do. Something a little bit more personalized. Probably some footage of me doing miscellaneous things, adventuring, whatever, especially with a camera in my hands. That's a huge plus. So I haven't created that yet, so the early intro came from this. But you can create those in here. They might be free to create. Some of them might be free. The one I got was one of the pro versions. That's completely up to you. But you'll notice here, so you guys have already seen the thumbnail for this video, so I'll go ahead and show you that. Like, this is how I created it. This is the completely free version. I just searched an image of a Macbook and it pulled up this nice image, and then I added a bunch of extra images to it. So, you know, I added the text, I added the little icons in there to add a little bit of pop to the image, but that's pretty much it. I mean, you can go back and we'll look at some of my older pictures, which isn't really much different. You know, like this one is just a picture of me and sitting there. I forgot to take a thumbnail for this video, so I pulled something from the video that was actually not having any motion blur to it, and then just added some text to it, which that one, you know, overly saturated a bunch, but it is what it is. I'm not worried about it. I don't think it really came out that overly saturated on YouTube when it was uploaded, so that worked out well. And that's pretty much all I use Canva for, is my YouTube thumbnails, and then also with posting to my Instagram page as well. So things like this where I put, you know, new video coming for my Instagram story. This is how I create those as well. Just super basic things. This one was really cool. Unfortunately, my pro version ran out and I just didn't feel like paying for it, but you know, these are some pre-built options as well. So there is automatically curated content, so you can adjust it based off of how you want it, just to get you a head start on it. But pretty much for the most part, I create everything by hand just through this image that I have inside my head. So that's Canva. Now we're gonna talk about how I edit my videos. And I actually have been flip-flopping back and forth between Final Cut and Adobe. My digital video editing class that I was taking was strictly through Adobe Premiere, and it was great. I started in high school with video editing. You know, I fell off at times, and I definitely could be a better editor than I should be with, what, 8 years of experience technically. But Final Cut Pro I have found to be a lot more user-friendly. I just understand it better because I've been using it for so long, and I bought it with my MacBook instead of the subscription-based service, which as of right now, my school does include the Adobe Suite, which is really great because I have taken a lot of those classes that require those programs. But this is just, this is a reel that I made, and you know, I keep different projects in here, and I also, you'll notice that there's not a lot in here. I purge it a lot just because I hate clutter. In fact, I need to do that right now, but overall, I've just found Final Cut to be a lot more user-friendly for me. You know, automatically snapping clips when you cut things out is great. It's a lot better set up for me. I mean, it's easier for me to understand, and overall, I feel like I'm gonna use Final Cut Pro, and I might catch a lot of flack for that because I'm sure a lot of people use Adobe Premiere. But Final Cut Pro, that's what I'm doing right now. Next week, I might feel different about it. You know, that's why it's great to have both. There's benefits to both, that's for sure. And then we're gonna move on to kind of how I edit my pictures. So with picture editing, I of course use Lightroom, and I'm pretty sure everyone uses it, Adobe Lightroom CC. It's super great because it's another one of those apps that syncs across the board. So anything that I upload on my phone automatically comes here. For the photographers out there, you know that when you transfer things from device to app to device, blah, 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 it gets compressed. Every move that you make gets compressed. Now, I have noticed that the best way, if you can do it one time, is airdropping, but I try not to do that. I do a lot of my editing unless I'm on the go. You know, I don't just post an Instagram story. What I'll do is I'll take the picture in my camera app on my phone, and then I will import that photo to Lightroom, edit it in there, and then put it on my story. But if it's something that's going on my actual Instagram feed, what I'll often do is edit it from my MacBook. 9 times out of 10, that's something that came from my camera, so SD card goes onto the computer, edit it from there, and then export via AirDrop to my phone where I can post it. It prevents the most compression possible, which is a super fantastic thing. Instagram has a very big problem with that compression, which I guess I kind of understand it. It's a mobile platform, and you need to be able to support all the posting that happens on one person's feed over the course of 5 minutes even. A lot of things that you're seeing right now are just pictures that are inside of my digital photo class. My pictures, other pictures, just a shared album with my other classmates. But we can come over here and I'll just show you real quick the way I generally edit. I know this isn't really on topic, but I started using Chris Howe's presets. He's a photographer, also a YouTuber, and he sent these out for free via an email that he put out a few weeks back, and it's just something that I've thoroughly enjoyed. These are just some random pictures. Look at my dog. Some random pictures that I took when we were walking around the other day. It's about to rain, so I wasn't, you know, fully set up to take a full-on photo shoot. But we'll just use this picture, and I'll show you an example of his preset, and a lot of the times this is what I use on my Instagram page itself. So I often switch between this Everlasting preset and the Vulcan preset. Kilowatt always comes out way too orange for me, and this one comes out super purple. So Everlasting or Vulcan. And in this picture, Vulcan is the better way to go for me. I think it pops the right colors, kind of mutes the background and the ground a little bit. And this is just a starting point. You know, I think it's a little bit overexposed. You know, we'll bring those highlights down just a little bit more because she's super white. And you know, make it a little bit colder. And I always like to bump that contrast down a little bit. And boom, to me, that's, for the picture that it is, I think that's a great edit. So that's kind of just an intro of how I edit my pictures. Of course, I use Photoshop as well. That'll be a whole other video. Photoshop is fantastic. I often use that for sky replacements. That's a fun one to mess around with. Nothing that I really use Photoshop for goes on my Instagram page. There are a few things that require it, such as removing telephone poles or anything like that from my pictures. I also have another app that I use for that, but that is a whole other video, and it's something that I use on my phone. So as soon as I do a what's on my phone video, then that'll be on there. So it is not available for the Mac. Final portion for this create section is just a very simple word editor, text editor. I just gave it away. It's Microsoft Word. A lot of people will be using Google Docs. Google is a fantastic service, especially over the past couple of years. They've done a really great job of making it a well-rounded platform for you to pretty much do anything you need to in there. I mean, they are a competitor for Microsoft Suite. I have just found that Microsoft Office for my needs, because I already have it, is just, it's better in my opinion. I can use it offline. There's sometimes we'll be outside on my porch and my internet for some reason doesn't want to reach through the glass door, and I can do things offline on this, which is fantastic. And a lot of my documents are already saved in that. So Microsoft Word, super self-explanatory. You guys know what that is. And yeah, let's move on to the next section. This one's gonna be the consume category. First, we're gonna start off with a game. I know, a game. I often play on my Switch or my PlayStation, but recently, over the last week or so, for some reason, I have decided to start playing League of Legends again. I don't know why. I'm garbage, but it's so addicting. Like Fortnite rehab? No, League of Legends rehab. It's a lot of fun. If you don't know what League of Legends is, I'm not even gonna bother to open the app, but League of Legends, that's the first topic. All right, so this is another one, Google Chrome. We've already seen this one open. I use Google Chrome across all my devices. I know that I could use Safari, but again, user friendliness, and I just find that Google Chrome is a lot easier for me to use. I haven't really dived into Safari since they made that recent update. I have heard that it's a very big competitor, because now you can, search Safari in the typing bar, or in the URL bar, sorry, and it will do the same thing as Google Chrome instead of just like being like, what's happening? So that's a really great thing. Google Chrome, way more user-friendly for me, and everything's already synced across the board between my phone, and I just don't have any reason to change as of right now. So that's what I use. Default browser, everything that's a clickable link will go to Google Chrome. Now, I'm sure most of you are on the same page as me here. Apple Music has come a long way, but my go-to music option is Spotify. Now, as of me posting this video, at least on the phone version, this is the first time today that I've opened it up on here. Cool, doesn't seem like it's changed all that much. They have changed the interface a little bit, so on my phone it was a little bit more confusing, but it just seems like all of your playlists are right here. I just think it's, again, a lot more user-friendly, and it's one of those services that I've been using for a long time. I've got playlists in here from years ago. I did try Apple Music. There was some program that I used a while back that you signed into both, and then it would transfer your playlists and everything, even though it was weird that some songs weren't available on Apple Music by well-known artists like the Biebs or something. So Spotify, that's my go-to music option. It's much easier to use, and there's a lot of times where I will be using other people's playlists, and it's very easy to get access to those as well. I use Thomas Frank's study playlists. I use Elliot Dahl's study playlist anytime that I was studying, had headphones in, or just looking to relax and do some research. So because it's so widely used, especially for that reason, that is why I use Spotify. It's a big reason why. So that is my music app of choice. So this next app, again, we're going into one that's not an app. It is another website. Now, I find myself often not having a lot of time to read. I guess I do have the time, but I want to do other things. So Audible, that's where I go. I listen to audiobooks. Audible is more of my fiction-based thing where I don't need to absorb all the content necessarily. It's just more of a storytelling thing. So things like Ready Player One, Ready Player Two, those are what I've been listening to recently. And there's a couple, self-help informational books that I'll listen to on here, but generally those kinds of books I will actually buy and find the time to read. But this is a great thing, if I'm doing cardio at the gym, usually what I'll do is I'll actually put on an audiobook or watch a YouTube video. I don't listen to music. When I do cardio, I like to do that when I'm lifting. It kind of gets me in the zone for running when I'm sitting there listening to a book. I don't know why, it just does it for me. So Audible, if you have Amazon Prime, I'm pretty sure it's included with your subscription for the free version. And then I do pay whatever, 10, 15 bucks a month for the better pro version, which gives me access to the library, free credit a month. It's worth it to me. 15 bucks for a book a month. That's not terrible. More often than not, if it's a new book, it's gonna cost that or more. So Audible's totally worth it. It's a great service. Okay, and then the last app that I have here for the consume category is going to be an email provider, or an email hub, if you will. This app is actually another one of those that's available across all Apple devices, which is fantastic. You got your Apple Watch, your MacBooks, your iPads and iPhones, all of it. It's all on there. Having apps that work across that ecosystem is fantastic. It just keeps things consistent, which is a benefit to me, and I'm sure it benefits all of you guys. So Spark, email client, email hub, whatever you want to call it. If it'll load here, we'll get it up. So I don't want to show you too much of my emails. I like to keep things clean, but this is one of those interfaces that allows you to sign into multiple accounts at the same time, which is also fantastic. You'll notice a lot of spam emails here. I really want to reset my email and get a new one, but johnwardco@gmail.com, that's my thing. That's my handle across the board, and I think that's pretty easy to understand, so I think I'll take the hit and just, try and keep on top of my emails. There was one day where I sat down for like 3 hours and purged 15,000 emails because I had just neglected it for so long. The only problem that I do have with Spark is that it does have those custom signatures at the bottom, but it doesn't import that to actual Gmail itself. If you want to keep things consistent, you have to always use Spark or pay attention and add it to your Gmail account as your signature. On here, I have John Ward, photographer, videographer. That way, if I'm talking to anybody, shooting an email to a potential business that I could work for or a client or something, that's kind of my niche. Like, that's what I want to be doing with my life. So it's good to let those people know, like, that's what I do. Like, that is my end goal. And on my Gmail account, because I don't use Gmail, except for the rare circumstance where like I was at work or something and responding to a wholesale account from my personal email, because for some reason they sent it to that instead of my work email, just said John Ward. So didn't like that. Also, I personally don't have any reason to change it because I won't be switching back to Gmail unless something happens to Spark. But great way of organizing everything. You got your favorites. You also have your personalized folders for everything. You'll notice down here, I have all these folders. It just makes everything very easy to organize. I'm a very organized person. You guys will have to see my file system at some point in another video. If I need to find something, I know exactly where it's gonna be. And I have thousands of files on my computer. If it's school related, I've got a school folder that's broken down into class folders, that's broken down into module folders, that's broken down into week folders. That's the kind of person I am. It's a little bit ridiculous, OCD, whatever you want to call it. It helps, man, I'm telling you. It cuts down the time, and I'm about it. So that's Spark, my personal favorite for an email hub, not client, that's Gmail, but Spark, great app, available on all devices. Download it, you'll love it. Let's get into the research section of things. This is one of those categories that Google Chrome could be under, and it is technically under that. Consuming research, to me, it's kind of the same thing. Let's talk about my favorite app on the entire ecosystem, which is Notion. Notion is a fantastic hub for organizing your entire life. As I said in the last video, there is going to be a video that goes into depth about how I use Notion to organize my entire life. I use Notion for pretty much everything, and it is my go-to note-taking app for my phone as well. In fact, I actually have one of those widgets set up on my phone, so it's actually quite fantastic. Let me show you real quick. Boom, there's Notion. If I click on one of these three options, it'll actually, even though it's one button, it'll go to that specific page, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that is Notion. And then the final app that I have for you guys for the research section of things is going to be an app called Drafts. This again is another one of those apps that is synced across the ecosystem. It syncs through the cloud. More often than not, I use this when I'm on the go. This is like my inbox essentially, and any information that I will put in here will go from this app, and then I will sort it into Notion accordingly. Let's go ahead and let's do it. Taking a quick note for the YouTube video. Done. And then it takes a second. Boom, one draft. Taking a quick note for the YouTube video. So that's Drafts, super universal, super friendly. All right, on to the final section of this, what is on my MacBook early 2021 edition, is utility. So utility is going to be a culmination of apps that don't really fit into the other categories. They offer one very sole purpose, and that is just enhancing the experience on the MacBook or iMac or whatever you're using. For the first app that I'm going to talk about is an app called Alfred. And I'm pretty sure this one's free. I don't remember paying for it, but Alfred is just like Spotlight Search. I think it has a lot more benefits, so I have it hotkeyed to command space. Let's go ahead, you can do math in this. 2 + 2 = 4. And then you can also use this for a little bit more complicated things, such as searching YouTube for a video. So we'll go to YouTube and then, top Mac apps. And it'll open YouTube in your default browser and automatically search that in the search bar for you, which, hey, there's the voice. So that is one of the reasons that you could use that. And then you can, of course, open applications. You can search your file system. I have a folder called YouTube. It opens the folder called YouTube. So super great app for you to use. For the next app, you'll notice that on the very top of the screen on my toolbar, I have no icons. but that is because of an app called Bartender. And also, this is another free app. So the way this works is you can set this up to always display whichever icons you want there, the most essential, which for me is making sure that my Wi-Fi is on and making sure that I have enough battery. And then everything else is very circumstantial, but it just hides in these 3 little dots. I like to keep things minimal and makes things less horrifying for me to look at. Like, I hate clutter, it's just not my thing. I am an insanely clean person, especially in my house, so my Macbook has to be the same way. Next couple we had mentioned in the Bartender app. First one's gonna be Magnet. Magnet is a fantastic app. Makes your computer run like Windows 10. I know that there's a couple other apps out there. This one is paid. I paid for it way back before I think any of the other ones came out. It's like $3 and it works great. So it'll automatically snap these things into place based off of where you drag them onto the screen, you know. Well, that's a bad example. Some apps are not allowed to be more narrow than, you know, half the page or 3/4 of the page. So I'll show you Google Chrome because that one can be. Boom, side by side, perfectly snapped. And then if you have something open and you need it to save more space, you can click on this magnet icon up on your toolbar and say, I need to have this one in the right third. Hello, right third. And then I need this one to be in the left third. And then I need another tab so I can do whatever it is that I'm looking at this tiny screen to do. And I can put it right in the middle. Center third, boom. That's intense. If you're using 3 screens like that, I mean, hey, power to you, man. That's a lot. That bothers my eyes a little bit. So I don't use it like that, but that is a fantastic app to use. If I'm not using multiple desktops on the computer itself, that is more often than not how it will use my information. On to the next one, we're gonna talk about CopyClip. I think this one was free as well. CopyClip is a great application for you to make sure that you save all the things that you've copied. It saves about 15 of the most recent copies that you have done. You know, if I'm copying text from the internet to put it into Notion, it's gonna be there. And it will go from the top, most recent, to the bottom, which is the furthest back. And then for this last app, this is not an app that I actually use, but I think that it could provide some of you with some value. It is, I'm pretty sure, $100. I got the free trial for it, and I just didn't, you know, I say I want to be organized and I want to have like less clutter, but something about this standalone app system for me makes more sense than like one app hosting everything. However, we're going to talk about Shift real quick. They don't sponsor this video. Shift is an all-in-one hub. Now, I had to change my email password because at my last job something happened, and yeah, changed the password. But this is super organized with a lot of well-used apps. I mean, it's even got Notion, and I know a lot of people don't even know what Notion is. You can sign into your emails on here. You can download and input Notion so that it's on there. You know, I'll open it real quick and show you guys that Notion's on here. Boom, that's my Notion. It's identical to the one you guys were viewing earlier. And then let's see here, add application. So these are just a few of the examples. Everything that can be thrown in here. I mean, Adobe Lightroom can be attached to this. Spark, Photoshop, like, no, not Photoshop, but Portfolio. AliExpress is on here. There's a lot of Google Photos, Apple Photos. So this is just like if you need a one-stop shop to save space on your computer, if you're one of those people that has the 256 gigabyte version of the MacBook, or you just don't have space because of all these files that you have and you need to minimalize, Shift might be a really good app for you. Like I said, it's not the best app for me because I have a need for like standalone apps. You know, I more often than not use my monitor, so being able to have the multiple workspaces, the multiple desktops is a lot better for me than having one application I have to click through rather than swipe. It's faster for me. But this might be great for some of you guys. So maybe go ahead, check it out. It's like a 10-day free trial or something like that. If you love it, it's $100, but I mean, when it comes to productivity, workflow, it's not that bad for one app, especially if everything else that you use is free. Like Notion's free. I got a upgraded version because I'm in school, which was so great. I don't actually know if I needed it, but when I signed up with my school account, it gave me it automatically. That's Shift. Shift might be a great app for you. Check it out, see if it benefits you in any way, shape, or form, and you know, maybe shoot me down in the comment section below if it's actually worked for you and what you enjoy about it. Talk to me about the apps that you're actually using within it and why it might be better for you than using those standalone apps. apps. I'm genuinely interested to find out, and maybe I'll give it another shot one day. Alrighty guys, so as my MacBook is about to die, perfect ending to the video. That was my top Mac apps. What is on my MacBook? Early 2021, mid 2021. Wow, this year's gone by really fast so far. It's already May, guys. In the next video, expect a further in-depth look as to how I use Notion. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found an app that will bring some genuine benefit to you guys. And I'm excited to shoot the next video for you, and I hope you all have a fantastic week. Thanks again for coming by the channel. I am your host, John. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, gently now, with a little bit of love, and comment down below any videos you might want to see me do in the future. Thanks again, guys. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.